Honorable Gertrude Mbui, Kilifi, women rep, was on the floor with 8 minutes to go. She's not here. Now the screen is full. I don't know if it's full for this bill. Rindikiri Mugambi is not here. He's on the screen. Robert Mbui.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand to reject this bill, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, you know what this bill seeks to do is actually what Kenya Kwanza opposed vehemently during the 2022 campaigns. Mr. Speaker, you know that we were told that this regime would not create offices. In fact, we were told that the debate during the last campaigns was between those that are looking for positions and those that are responsible and responsive to the needs of the mama mboga, the boda boda, the so-called hustler. But Mr. Speaker, what is the reality? That when we came into this house, the first order of business, Mr. Speaker, was the creation of office of Prime Cabinet Secretary. Immediately after that, the creation of the office of the official leader of the opposition. Now, this bill confirms what we have always said, that the intention was always to create offices. Mr. Speaker, here, the first office being created, which we have said is unconstitutional, is that office of the head of the public service. And Mr. Speaker, before the committee, in its wisdom, rejected some of the proposals, one of the proposals was that the head of the public service would be the custodian of the public seal. In essence, you're going to take away the responsibility of the Attorney General and take it to State House and give it to a person who sits there as a personal assistant to the head of state. Mr. Speaker, this was really ridiculous. I want to thank the committee for having rejected that, because that has been pulled out and the committee says that wasn't making sense. But Mr. Speaker, more importantly is the creation of the offices of chief administrative secretaries. Mr. Speaker, this is an office we've all seen. The purpose of these offices is actually to reward political losers. Look at what happened in the last regime under Jubilee. All those people that were losing elections and were aligned to the regime of the day were being given these positions. Mr. Speaker, you remember when we had actually assistant ministers. I remember the late Honorable Kalembe Ndile. He stood on the floor of this house and he told Kenyans that what assistant ministers do is to have a cup of tea in their offices and read newspapers because there was not enough work. I wonder what has created more work. Is there more work under the current system than before? So, Mr. Speaker, I'm standing.
Order, Honorable Mbui. Honorable Meli is on a point of order.
That is it in order for Honorable Mbui to misinform the House that the issues raised in local maybe bars and whatever are actually brought to this House, because what he's actually saying is that the late Kalembe Ndile did allude that if you are an assistant minister, then you need only a cup of tea, and that's the whole of the office. There are many offices that have been created that are substantive to this country. So is it in order for him to actually misinform the House?
Continue, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for telling me to continue. That means you agree that we ignore the point of order. But, Mr. Speaker, I just want to finish by saying that as a country, we need to be careful with the promises we make. And when we make promises, it is important to also keep them. In fact, I can say there's so many good ideas that come out of the leaders' mouths. Unfortunately, the implementation becomes a problem. If Kenya was to follow the promises made by leaders, our children today would all have laptops, Mr. Speaker, all the way from grade 1 up to university, Mr. Speaker, because that was a promise that was given during campaigns. If promises were to be followed, Mr. Speaker, our children would have free primary education, free secondary education, and free university education. We would have free health, Mr. Speaker. Unfortunately, what happens is that we say one thing and we mean another. And, Mr. Speaker, because I feel that this regime is only intending to find a way to reward the people that lost the last election and also to reward those that have defected And that is a way to lure them. Mr. Speaker, I oppose this bill.
Honorable Russell.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support this bill on the many grounds